There will be no happy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I just had to get it in one more time. But Jordon Lawrenz here for the final time, as you can tell by the title, by the Instagram post, by the Facebook post, by Twitter, by all of that. If you haven't seen it already, maybe go check it out first, or you can listen to this and you'll get the message. It'll be loud and clear, as I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for this 1+ year journey. Just finished episode 56 on Monday. I wasn't a part of it. I was gone in Texas, crossing off another ballpark off my list, number 7. But, there was kind of these past few weeks, it's been weighing on me a little bit more. I was in Arizona for a few days. I missed that episode 54. Came back for episode 55. It was only like 40 or so minutes. It was a shorter one. And then I didn't really we did our Brewers season preview. We did that bonus episode, but I didn't really do a whole lot else. And quite honestly, I didn't really miss it. And that's kind of when it started to set in that this podcast was starting to feel like work to me. And, I was going on my vacations. I was enjoying life, having a good time. And when I came back to it, it's just this wasn't being fun anymore, and that's the whole point of it when we started it. When Drew and I started this back in March of 2021, I'll never forget it. We went to state basketball with Trent that day. We just did one game, one Division 1 game, and then we came back, and it was basically an hour and a half later. An hour later, we got back home. We recorded the podcast, and that was the first time we ever did it. That was our pilot episode, we called it. And sometimes I go back and look at old notes, and our format never really changed. I mean, we added segments like the shout out of the week, like the bet of the week, stuff like that. Those all got added throughout the way. But other than that, the trivia stayed the same. The on this day, we stuck to our format for a long, long time, and I think that shows longevity. And I know Drew, he'll be keeping it up. Maybe he'll change some stuff moving forward. But if I haven't made the point clear already, I am resigning. I am stepping down. I will no longer be a part of Jordon and Drew, the sports crew, moving forward. And no one forced this upon me, nothing like that, no bad blood, anything whatsoever. It's just, ultimately, at the end of the day, like I said, I just wasn't having a whole lot of fun anymore. And once something starts to feel like work, instead of starting to be fun, there's no point in continuing, no point in forcing yourself to do something that you don't want to do on a weekly basis, because I mentioned it in the Instagram post and all of that. It's cliche to say, but podcasting is a lot more than just me sitting down in my office and Drew opening up a Zoom, inviting me, hitting the record button. There's a lot more that goes into it than that. There's all of the promoting, all of the preparation, everything else in between. And, there's nothing I can do at the end of the day. I didn't want to hold anyone back. That was my big key here in this. Drew is out here killing it. He's got his college athlete spotlight, Journey to a Million. They've got new guests, 1 to 2 each and every week. College Athlete Spotlight Season 1 is now complete, but I'm sure Drew will do some baseball episodes or something in between. I know he's going to keep it up and do a lot of episodes in the meantime, but ultimately, I'm not going to be a part of the ride anymore, and that is chosen completely by me. I'm sure I'll be back. I'll be doing some bonus episodes. I'll be talking some Brewers, this and that. I was just talking to Drew this morning. I said, as of right now, I still want to do the EWC breakdowns for football and basketball. I couldn't get myself to do baseball and softball or track or anything like that. I'm just not knowledgeable about that, not passionate about that. That would feel like a job. That would feel like work. And that's not something I wanted to put myself through each and every week. Even though it's a 10-minute episode, I got to pull up some stats. I got to go to these websites. I got to figure out what I'm talking about, because I want to actually sound knowledgeable and not just be reading stats off of a website. And I don't think I'd be able to do that with those topics. But football, maybe I'd throw in some FRCC as well for the ships, maybe even some Big East North with Lutheran. We'll have to see when the time gets there. That's quite a ways away. But as of right now, on MLB's opening day, if I can use another cliche, when one door closes, another one opens. And it's very fitting on this day for Major League Baseball, because I know Drew is going to kill it, though. He's going to start slowly to rebrand. This thing will be Drew's Sports Crew. Will just be the Sports Crew. I don't know. We will figure it out. And it's going to take a while. You got to give him some time. He says he's got guests coming on for episode 57. Not quite sure what he'll be doing with the Monday episodes, but I know he'll be thinking on his feet. He'll be just fine. And Lewis did a great job on this past Mondays. They talked to MLB, so maybe they'll bring him back on to talk Brewers, opening day weekend against the Cubs. He's got options, trust me. He's got connections down at UW Milwaukee. Just had Donovan Newby, Division 1 UW Milwaukee player, on the episode he's killing it, right? Drew's doing such a fantastic job, and I didn't want to hold him back. I didn't want to do anything to get in his way of making this brand the best of his ability. And like I said, who knows? Maybe eventually I'll be back, but as of right now, this is the best decision for me, especially with summertime coming up. I'm going to be a busy, busy man with a Sheboygan A's schedule. Sometimes just 2 games a week, sometimes 4 to 5 games a week. I mean, double headers, games Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. It can be a lot, but I'm very much so looking forward to it. Hopefully, you'll join me for that on the YouTube, Facebook, wherever you want to watch Sheboygan A's baseball. I will be the play-by-play announcer coming up this summer. And yeah, don't forget, guys, that I just want to say thank you because I will never forget any of this and the ride we went on, the way we started this thing. Didn't know what we were doing, how much of convincing it took me to get a YouTube up and running, and finally Drew agreed, and we have our YouTube channel and all the other social media platforms. Twitter, I wanted a Twitter for a long time. Drew said, and then we finally got that. I mean, Instagram, where we connected the posts now, so post the same on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you, Devin, for all the work we put you through getting those posts up, and you know, thank you to Drew, obviously, first and foremost, for everything for this past year. Devin, Robert Shimmick, Zach, and Jared over at Journey to a Million really helping out a lot. Clay Taylor, I know he stepped in big time back when I was in Nashville and we went on that trip. He filled in on 2 episodes, I believe. Thank you to him. Thank you to Johnny Tim. Johnny, best of luck on your podcast as well. I haven't listened to it yet, but trust me, I will get there. I will be listening to Johnny Tim's podcast. And other than that, there's so many other people along the way I missed, but I just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. This wasn't just a split second decision that came out of nowhere yesterday when I was talking to Drew. I've been thinking about this for a while, and when I realized that I wasn't missing it, and when I realized that Trivia Season 6, putting that together, was starting to feel like work instead of fun, I knew that that was a big red flag because Trivia is the heart and soul of this podcast, and every single one of those trivia seasons, I guess I should call them, I would put them together by hand is a good way to put it. I would research all the questions myself. I would figure everything out, and I'd put it all together, and it would take an hour and a little bit more than that. I mean, episode 50, season 5, 5.5, whatever it was, where I did 50 trivia questions. That was a long time, but I had a fun time doing it, and I can't say the same about right now. That certainly wouldn't be the case, which is very sad, but there's nothing I can do about it. So I've been going round and round here for about 10 minutes, but ultimately I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone for going through this ride with me. I'm sorry about your merchandise now if you think that it's not going to work or if it doesn't fit the brand, but Jordon and Drew, the Sports Crew, is here to stay for a while. Wear those hats if you were able to win one of them. Use those stickers, and if you have one from way back in the day, look at that business card and smile. Wear that hoodie, wear that shirt. Those things are going to be collector's items one day when this podcast is big time. Sure, it might be rebranded, but no one will ever forget where we came from. Those white shirts that took 3 or more months to get, those hoodies that we struggled to get, but then we finally got new white ones because they were so faded. The letters being colored in on the black and blue ones, I should say. We'll never forget those moments and all the hard work that went into those, but something I will forget is this last exit. Our famous outro that I came up with. I thought about it before the pilot, and it just kind of stuck ever since we went with it. And for the final time, thank you all for listening to Jordon and Drew, the Sports Crew, the perfect podcast for you.